you ever had an email sitting in your inbox and somehow felt like your entire career depending on replying to it? Or you did not post a video for a few days and suddenly you're thinking, maybe I'm falling behind. You have one slow week and your brain goes like, I'm wasting my life. The strange thing is none of these things are actually emergencies. So why did they feel like emergencies to me? For years, I thought this was because I was ambitious. I thought I just cared a lot. I thought I needed much more discipline. But eventually, I realized something much more uncomfortable. Burnout had made me feel like everything I had not finished was an evidence that I was failing. And once I understood what was happening underneath that feeling, I could finally start breaking the cycle. One of the clearest signs I noticed in myself was that my brain started putting the word today after everything. I should post today. I should answer this today. I should fix my website today. I should work on this business idea today. I should exercise today. I should learn this today. I should catch up today. And if I did not, I would feel like I was losing the momentum in my life. But eventually, I started asking myself, does this actually need to happen today? And sometimes the answer was yes. But most of the times, the answer was no. It just felt like yes. And those two are completely different things. When I was burned out, my capacity was already lower. I had less mental energy, less emotional bandwidth, and less tolerance for uncertainty. And unfinished things created uncertainty. So my brain started trying to eliminate that uncertainty as quickly as possible. That's why an unfinished task could become disproportionately uncomfortable. It was not necessarily like this task is extremely important. It was, I don't like the feeling of this being unresolved. And my brain wanted that feeling to go away. So I would work more, not necessarily because I wanted to, but because finishing the task that day gave me temporary relief. Let's say I had a video I needed to make. I did not finish it that day. At first, I would just think that, okay, I did not finish the video. Then my brain added a story to it. Maybe it means I am failing behind. Then another story. Other creators are posting more than me. Then another. Maybe I'm losing momentum. And eventually, I thought maybe I'm just not capable of building this. Look at what just happened. I went from one unfinished video to a judgment about my entire future. That's what I did not understand about burnout. It was not just making tasks feel urgent, it was making ordinary events feel meaningful. Way too meaningful. One bad day became I'm becoming inconsistent. One slow week became I'm not making progress at all. One unanswered email became I am being irresponsible. One video with low views became maybe nobody cares about what I make. One missed workout made me think I am losing my discipline again. And one day of rest became I am wasting my time. And suddenly everything was connected to my identity. I was not just asking, did I finish this? I was asking, what does not finishing this say about me? And that was exhausting. Because I see myself as ambitious, so being unproductive did not just feel inconvenient, it felt threatening to who I thought I actually was. I had this idea of myself as someone who gets things done. So when I did not get the things done, my brain wanted to restore that identity. And one of the easiest ways to do this was to work harder. So I would create another to do list, make another schedule. I would promise myself that, okay, tomorrow I'm going to wake up early, or tomorrow I'll catch up. Tomorrow I will be more disciplined. And for a little while, that really felt good because now I had a plan. But the underlying fear had not changed. I was still trying to use productivity to prove that I am okay. And this was one of the strongest parts of burnout in me. I could be completely exhausted and still feel guilty for resting. I could desperately need a break and still feel like I was doing something wrong by taking a break. Because somewhere along the way, my brain had learned that productivity equals safety. If I'm productive, I'm moving forward. The more I'm working hard means I'm progressing in life. And if I'm moving forward, I'm doing okay. And if I'm okay, I can relax. So, what happened when I stopped? My brain went from, wait, we are not moving, and suddenly rest did not feel like rest. It felt like I was falling behind. Eventually, I started asking myself a very simple question whenever I felt that pressure. Does this genuinely need to happen today, or do I feel unsafe leaving it unfinished? And the question was really powerful because sometimes something genuinely was urgent. If I had a real deadline, I needed to do it. If someone was waiting for something important from me, I needed to handle it. But if nothing meaningful would happen because I waited 24 hours, then I had to ask myself, why does waiting feel so uncomfortable? Maybe I was afraid of losing momentum. Maybe I was afraid I would become lazy. Maybe I was afraid that somebody would judge me. Maybe I was afraid that if I stopped pushing myself, I would never start again. Maybe I was afraid I was already behind. And that was a useful information because now I was not just dealing with the task, I was dealing with the real problem underneath the task. At the end of my workday, I started doing something very simple. I would write down these three things: what is actually unfinished, and not everything I could possibly do, just what's just unfinished. Two, what generally needs to happen tomorrow, not what my anxiety says needs to happen, what actually has a consequence if it does not happen tomorrow. And number three, what am I giving myself permission to leave unfinished? And that last one was surprisingly very difficult because I had realized that I had never really given myself the permission to stop or the permission to rest. There was always something else I could do: another email, another video, another business task, a new idea, anything new to learn, or anything else to improve. So even when I stopped working, mentally I was still at work. I started realizing that productivity was not just about getting more things done. A huge part of productivity was knowing what did not need to be done right now. Because if everything is urgent, I don't actually have priorities. I just have anxiety with to do lists. And I don't want to live like that anymore. I don't want my entire day to be like, what should I be doing? What am I forgetting? Am I behind? Am I failing? What if I don't do enough today? Because I could spend my entire life trying to catch up without ever asking who told me I was behind. So now, when I get that feeling, that little voice saying, I have to do this today, I try not to immediately obey it. I pause and I ask myself, does this genuinely need to happen today? Or do I feel unsafe leaving it unfinished? Because sometimes the task isn't urgent. Sometimes my nervous system just has not learned that unfinished does not mean unsafe. And that realization changed the way I think about productivity. I don't need to move faster every time I feel anxious. Sometimes I need to stop to figure out what I'm actually afraid of and let something remain unfinished. Because unfinished does not mean that I am failing. A slow week does not mean that I am failing behind. And resting does not mean I have stopped moving forward. Burnout did not just make me tired, it's changed the way I interpreted my life. Every unfinished task became a threat, every slow period became evidence, every moment of rest became something I had to just justify. And I'm still learning how to separate what actually needs my attention from what my anxious brain is telling me that needs my attention. That's what I'm exploring through this series. This is the second video in the series. Because I don't think I need to become more productive by squeezing more out of myself, I think I need to learn how to work from a place where I don't constantly feel like I'm running out of time. And in the next video, I'm going to talk about something else I struggled with for years: why even simple tasks started feeling ridiculously difficult when I was burned out. Because sometimes it's not that I don't know what to do, I'm just exhausted from carrying the weight of everything I think that I should be doing. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.